Hey everyone, Greg here coming at you with your monthly market update. Before we dive into the stats and what's going on out there, I just want to remind everyone to check their emails for that Eventbrite invitation that we sent out for our awesome home buyer workshop coming up towards the end of the month at Vintage Coffee. We hosted one of these a couple years ago before the pandemic and it was a huge hit. Everyone that attended actually did end up becoming clients, which is fantastic. Thank you. We love all of you and we're looking forward to seeing some new faces in person. As of now, this is already 80% sold out. So there's just a couple of tickets remaining. So if it is something that's interesting to you, do sign up for that. Greg Malio from Regency Law Group is going to be there, and Ashton Lambert from Synergy Mortgage is going to be there as well, trying to provide a huge amount of value for you guys to how to navigate this complex market. So speaking of that, let's dive right into the numbers. So last year we saw an average sales price of for residential freehold properties, which is the majority of people that we're talking to on this video today, of around 833,000. So that's up a little bit from September, which was about 822, August 826, and July 846. So it seems like from the last 4 months that we're stabilizing around the low 800 mark, average sales price for residential freehold properties in Hamilton. Now, just to give you an idea, back in 2021 in October, that was around 920. The year before that, 2020, around 705, and pre-pandemic 2019 residential freehold in October was only around 580,000. Now, over $500,000 for a home is still a lot of money, but we still haven't dropped to those pre-pandemic levels yet, although we do see that we are having this stabilization. Anecdotally, what we can tell you from all the transactions that we're navigating is that it is a very balanced market. We have just over 3 months of inventory, so buyers and sellers are working together to accommodate each other's needs, and there's a lot of reasonability on both sides. It's still important to position yourselves well. Buyers, it's still important to be reasonable, and what we're finding is there is a lot less buyer's remorse in this market. Buyers have their conditions, they can take their time, be satisfied with their mortgages, be satisfied with their financing condition, be satisfied with their home inspections, and overall it makes for a feels good all around. Now, obviously the big topic in the news is inflationary pressures. This is affecting everybody here in Ontario. We currently have a public sector strike going on. The province has ordered Hamilton to expand its municipal boundaries. We still have critical supply issues, and there's still plans to, increase the number of new Canadians to about $500,000 into markets where there's relatively tight housing supply. So all these things are going to continue to have an effect on the housing market. And a lot of talk about Bank of Canada interest rates, which are now around 3.75%. And they've clearly indicated that they are going to continue these rate hikes. Now, it's important to remember that, the Bank of Canada, these guys are unelected technocrats. They have a mission. They have their marching orders, and they stick to their job. And their mandate is to keep inflation around 2%. And, their blunt tool is interest rates, so they use that to try to keep inflation low. Now, while they're setting money policy, people in the political classes are setting fiscal policy. So, the federal government has continued to say, still having support crowns, a lot of money printing. So it seems that these two are at odds, where at hands you have the Bank of Canada saying, hey, keep wages stable. We're going to increase interest rates to try to crush this inflation. And you have folks on the federal government fiscal side saying, no, we're going to continue to print money and wages need to rise, which will then, be immediately eaten away by inflation like almost overnight. So these two seem to be at odds with each other. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But it seems like those in the political classes who have their careers on the line with the voters are going to depend on the Bank of Canada to do the basically ugly, dirty work of raising interest rates to crush inflation, and it's making it very difficult for people to make ends meet, which leads to civil unrest, which leads to strikes, and all while not a very pleasant situation for people. So what does this mean for the housing market going forward? Well, closings happen every day. People need to buy and sell regardless of market conditions due to their own personal unique circumstances. So we did see a significant drop in the number of transactions year over year. We were just, I believe, at 390 sales in October versus 600, high 600s in October. So a significant drop in transactions, but people are still needing to move. We're still seeing a lot of people who want to leave Ontario, so they're selling and they're moving out east, or they're moving to Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, even BC as well. People are still willing to do a buy and a sell. You know, if you're having an extra kid or that family member needs to move back with you, or your work situation changes, people adjust very, very quickly, and the house just becomes an asset that they need to dispose of to help them get to their next stage of life. So, I do think that these affordability will continue to erode. People are going to be very mindful of budgeting. So make sure that you're having high level conversations with your mortgage professional. They should be updating your mortgage financing docs at least once per week, doing a review with you, at least a weekly consultation to say like, hey, look, here's how things are going. But I do expect we are going to see more interest rate increases from the bank going forward until inflation appears to be under control. And it does seem like the political parties are getting the message, those in power anyway, saying like, hey, like we just can't keep borrowing and printing money. It's inflating the value of all of our assets to unsustainable levels, which is what we saw over the last 2 years. We know that most of the money that went into the debt markets increased the value of our assets, and now they're trying to retract that value from our assets. So it's going to be painful for some, and it's going to be ugly. And as always, we are here for you guys. If you need to talk about your unique situation, we have a lot of experience with relocations, separations, job loss. We can help you navigate these treacherous waters with a steady hand and make sure that you absolutely maximize the value of your asset so you can be confident going forward. Now, buyers, we are seeing a lot of still people attempting to lowball. We are in a balanced market, not a true buyer's market yet. So buyers do need to be reasonable, but sellers are willing to take a hit on their price and their conditions if you can match something to give them a little bit of value. So we always say there's 3 things that make a deal go through: price, closing date, and conditions. For some sellers, maybe the closing date is more important than getting an extra $10,000 or $15,000. Conditions, obviously, sellers are willing to accept a home inspection condition, a financing condition, if it's loaded up with conditional on insurance, conditional on solicitor review, conditional on my Uncle Joe approving the light switch in the kitchen. Those things are not going to fly, but traditional conditions are back. So if you have any questions about your unique situation, as always, shoot us a DM, get in touch, let us know how you're doing, and hopefully we see you all on the 24th at this homebuyer workshop. I do think it's going to be something that we do regularly, so looking forward to seeing everybody soon, and I hope you and your families are doing well. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.